Howdy, today on Flipping Science, we're looking at organ system interdependence and lifestyle choices. So science understanding we're going to look at, organ systems in a multicellular organism are interdependent and function together to ensure the survival of the organism, and lifestyle choices affect the functioning of organs and systems. So your organ systems, they don't work in isolation. They all work together and are joined together to keep your body healthy and working. We call that homeostasis. Homeostasis is where the levels of particular substances in your body, as well as things like temperature, are maintained. Various systems are joined together and they work together to keep you healthy. So we'll look at a few examples of that. A good example is your respiratory and circulatory systems being joined together. The job of the respiratory system is to exchange gases in your body, so oxygen will go into your body and carbon dioxide will come out. And the circulatory system's job is to pump blood around the body, and one of the jobs of blood is to carry oxygen and carbon dioxide around the body. They're joined together at the lungs. So here we have the circulatory system. We can see the heart here. Its job is to pump blood that doesn't have higher levels of oxygen and has high levels of carbon dioxide to the lungs. At the lungs, which is the respiratory system now, you get gas exchange, so you get oxygen going in, carbon dioxide coming out, and then that blood returns back to the heart and then it is pumped around the body. Each system is working with the other in order to keep the levels of blood oxygen and blood carbon dioxide in the right areas. So you want reasonably low levels of carbon dioxide, reasonably high levels of oxygen, and that's done by these systems. So in terms of homeostasis, the levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide stay relatively the same throughout your body. So another example we'll look at is the digestive and endocrine system working together. So the digestive system's job is to take in food from the body, break it down into smaller nutrients that can then be absorbed and then used by the body. The endocrine system's job is to produce hormones that help to control body function. And again, homeostasis, so keeping levels of particular substances at the right level for the body. So a good example here is the endocrine system produces hormones leptin and ghrelin, and their job is to moderate appetite. When you get hungry, your body produces more ghrelin, and that tells a whole heap of body systems that you would like food, particularly the stomach. After you've eaten, you produce more leptin, so over here, and that reduces your appetite so that you just don't keep eating. You want to have a reasonable amount of food in your body, but not too high levels, because that would be bad for a whole heap of systems. We'll look at that a bit later on. And you don't want to have too little food, because otherwise you'll run out of nutrients that your body needs to run. So here we have hormones from the endocrine system, a separate system, working with the digestive system to moderate your appetite and blood nutrient levels. So we saw how organ systems are linked to each other, and this can have an impact when it comes to lifestyle choices that people make. Choices that you make in terms of your lifestyle and the things that you do can have big effects on particular organs, but also on entire body systems. So let's look at a few examples of that. So smoking is a good example. It damages the lungs, so that's an organ, but those lungs are joined into other body systems via the circulatory system, and that can lead to big effects on those other body systems and organs within those body systems. So down here we have a picture of the lungs. Here's the smoker's lungs, here's the non-smoker's lungs. We can see the big difference there. The particulate matter that builds up, the carbon particulate matter and tar builds up in the lungs, and that causes issues. Other effects of smoking affect other body systems. So arteries, plaque builds up on the inside of arteries more readily in smokers than in non-smokers. The brain can be affected. The chances of stroke occurring are increased in people who smoke compared to people that don't smoke. So there's a whole variety of systems that are affected by the lifestyle choice of smoking. So making good choices in terms of diets and the amount of physical activity you do can have multiple benefits to the body, as well as the body systems. In terms of your digestive system, regular amounts of exercise can help push food through quicker, which can be of benefit and reduces chances of developing particular disorders. The circulatory system benefits from regular exercise. Heart rates and blood pressure decrease in people that have lots of exercise, and that's of a benefit to the body. The musculoskeletal system benefits from exercise in particular. The more exercise you do, the stronger your muscles and bones get, and particularly in people who are getting older, having reasonably strong muscles and bones, that reduces chances of breaks if you fall over, for example. So exercise is very important there. We're going to look at an example in the endocrine system shortly. We're going to look at type 2 diabetes and how choices of diet and exercise can lead to an increase in the chances of you getting type 2 diabetes, but also making other choices can reduce your chances. And the nervous system can also be affected by choices in diet and exercise. A recently released study here in the American Journal of Psychiatry found that by doing a reasonable amount of physical activity, the chances of getting depression decrease. Even with people who have, people who have preconditions that might lead them to developing depression, having regular exercise can reduce that chances of that happening. And that's what this study showed. So we've mainly talked about the benefits of exercise there, but eating good foods has good effects as well. Taking in the right amount of vitamins and minerals from your diet means you don't have to take supplements, and particular vitamins and minerals have effects all over the body. So if we look at calcium as a mineral, for example, a good level of calcium intake helps develop strong bones, so that's in the musculoskeletal system. Taking in iodine in your foods helps with cognitive function, brain function, but it also helps with the production of hormones too. So having a wide variety of food in your diet, of good healthy foods in your diet, lots of fruits and vegetables, that benefits lots of body systems too. So we're going to look at type 2 diabetes as an example of a lifestyle disorder that causes big effects on many organ systems in the body. Type 2 diabetes occurs where the body doesn't produce enough insulin, or the insulin that is produced isn't being recognized by the body. So what does that mean? So insulin is a hormone produced by the pancreas. And its job is to cause the body to absorb sugar from the blood and store that sugar in cells, this body cells. So you have a big meal, you have a lot of sugar flowing around your body, the pancreas releases insulin, that insulin causes the glucose, so sugar, to be absorbed from the blood and go into your body cells, often in the liver or muscles. If you have type 1 diabetes, which is caused by genetics, often, the pancreas doesn't produce any insulin at all because the cells that produce insulin stop working. Type 2 diabetes, this is the lifestyle one that we're going to talk about. Your body might be producing insulin, but it might not be producing enough insulin, or the insulin that's being produced isn't being absorbed by the body cells because the body cells don't recognize the insulin. There is a genetic component to type 2 diabetes, but it is mainly associated with poor diet, lack of exercise, and obesity. It has major effects on many organ systems all over the body. So it increases chances of strokes and heart attacks. It leads to problems with blood circulation, particularly in the extremities. So diabetic foot down here we have, so big ulcers can form on the foot and that can lead to having to have your feet amputated. It affects the eyes because there's issues with blood supply to the eyes, so glaucoma, cataracts. It affects many organ systems all over the body. And since it's a disorder associated with lifestyle choices, by reversing poor choices you can reduce your chances and also reduce the effects of type 2 diabetes. You can also even eliminate it. So having a better diet and having more exercise and losing a bit of weight, that can get rid of type 2 diabetes. What's interesting about type 2 diabetes is the levels of type 2 diabetes have increased significantly since the 1980s, particularly in young people. It wasn't seen in young people in the 1980s. These days it is becoming more and more common. It was mainly a disease of the elderly. Here we have some graphs showing a few different studies showing the prevalence of type 2 diabetes. So different studies from different groups showing the numbers of people with type 2 diabetes, and this is worldwide. You can see from 1980 the levels are pretty low, and every single paper is showing an increase in the trend of type 2 diabetes. We are here, and these papers are also predicting what's going to happen into the future if things don't change, and we're getting increasing levels of people with type 2 diabetes. But like I said, it is reversible. Making better choices in terms of diet and exercise can reduce, reverse, or eliminate type 2 diabetes. So today on Flipping Science, we looked at how organ systems are interdependent, and we also looked at lifestyle choices and their effects on organ systems. That's it for Flipping Science today. See ya.